Today's trade recap is going to be about greed. I had a good trade today. I executed it well. I managed my trade well. I had good risk management, but I was way too greedy. I was targeting $1,000 on each account, chasing a monetary amount, when in reality, I should always be chasing a static 1 to 2 RR. My friend that I trade with ended up hitting TP. I got stopped out at break even. Why? Because I was being greedy. In a second, I'll show you guys why and what I answered off of. So let's take a look. Here are the stats for today. I had one winning trade where I made $91 on both of my accounts, bringing our monthly total up so far to $516.50. Obviously, compared to day one, which was Tuesday, there hasn't been much progress, but I'm at a 75% win rate. Overall, I'm already up $516 of my $3,000 goal, so I'm 1/6 of the way there. I definitely expect to have a lot more green days because I'm going to be a lot better with my trading when it comes to managing my positions, executing better, and also just managing my psychology. I mentioned in the last video that was something that's very challenging for me and for a lot of new traders. But part of having this YouTube channel is being able to hold myself accountable, being able to journal my trades, being able to look back on my executions and my entries to see what's working for me and what isn't working, so that way I can do better in the future. Coming into today, and again, I like to trade the New York AM session, which starts at 9:30 on the dot. I generally hop on the charts around 9:15, start looking at some of the pre-market action, and then wait until after market open to take a trade. So, coming into today, we had a huge new day opening gap, as you can see right here, and dog. This entire rectangle from here, 23,662 to 23,697, is the gap between yesterday's close in price at 459 and today's open in price at 6 p.m. yesterday. So the close in price was all the way down here, and the open in price was all the way up here. Oh, sorry, I have a little too high. Sorry about that. So it should be at 23,693. But regardless, it's a huge new day opening gap, and price just continued on this huge bull run, which started yesterday around 3 p.m. It continued all the way up to all-time highs, and it just continued to trade, continued to accumulate, honestly, after it reached a certain level. It made another all-time high, and it started coming back down. I'm going to turn on my kill zones indicator so we can see pretty much a lot of the accumulation in price range. During Asia session, it just expanded, started accumulating. It manipulated upwards, and there's going to be a huge dump to the downside. This was pretty obvious because we had, sorry, just pressed the wrong button. We had a lot of imbalanced price action that we needed to recorrect and remitigate. So coming into New York session, I was very, very bearish. Let's turn that back off. But yes, coming back into New York session, which started right up here at 23,747. I knew we were going to be bearish, and I knew that we were going to target the new day opening gap. If I was, a risky trader, if I was a gambler, I would have just honestly put shorts right there at New York Open and just rode this entire way down to the new day opening gap. But I don't like to trade like that. I don't like to gamble in the charts. I like to trade with conviction. I like to trade with confirmation. And I like to trade when I have confidence in my moves. So come back down, we completely mitigated this new day opening gap. And I honestly thought that price was going to retrace up. I thought it was going to reverse. Let me get rid of ES actually so we have some more space. I thought price was going to reverse and come back up. So coming into, I believe it was around 947, we started to slow down. We had a huge move downwards and we started to slow down, as you can see. We started to create some bullish fair value gaps, 2 in a row actually. And I believe on the 15-minute time frame, right around this area, we had tapped into a 15-minute huge imbalance. coming from all the way over here. We had just tapped into that right under the new day opening gap. So I thought price was going to come back down here and just reverse back up. And I think at the time it was right around here. Yeah, right around here, 930. So let's scale back down to the 1 minute. I already mentioned before that generally the 9:30 a.m. open price is a strong draw on liquidity. I had expectations that price was going to reverse, come back up, correct this imbalance on the way back down, and target the 9:30 a.m. price as the draw on liquidity. I was wrong. Price did end up retracing. And honestly, if I just had my take profit at this imbalance, I would have made a shit ton of money, just like my friend did. He made, I think, $700 today, whereas I was up around $450 in profit at one point, and then I got stopped out at break even because I was trailing my stops, actively managing my position, but price just wanted to continue downwards. When there's a huge run in one direction, I'm always hesitant to continue, to take a continuation trade when price has a huge run in one direction, I'm always hesitant to take a continuation trade because I don't know how much more momentum we have. I don't know how much lower the price is going to keep going. And I don't know the full extent of the range that we're going to see. So I like to trade reversals when we have confirmation. And generally with the unicorn model, my confirmation is a fair value gap paired with a breaker block and an external sweep of liquidity. It's also better if we're in a high time frame imbalance. The 15-minute to me is considered a high time frame. So we are tapping into this bullish gap coming back up. We're creating fair value gaps on the way up. We displaced briefly above this high, and we also had this breaker block. But I didn't enter until we displaced above this high. So I entered on this fair value gap, which was right over here. Oh, wrong one. I entered at 665, and I had, I believe, a stop loss right down here, 24 points. And my draw on liquidity was up here, so I had my take profit up here. Again, once we got up to this point, I was around $450 in profit, but I was looking at this imbalance, and I honestly wanted to see it get inversed. I was pretty confident that I was going to get inversed, especially because this fair value gap had just gotten inversed by that same candle. Once price made some short-term highs, I started trailing my stops, and I put it right around here at 23,674, right below these lows. And when price retraced literally on the next candle, so again, I was up $450 at this point within 1 minute. It went back down, and I was stopped out at $91. That's how fast the market can humble you. That's how fast you can lose money. That's how fast you can make money trading futures. And luckily, I had risk management. I had position management, so I was moving my stops, because if I just held on to it and say, for example, I never moved my stops, I would have gotten taken out right here on the way down, and I would have lost $300. But instead, I was able to leave with a green day, making $91 on both accounts. Am I happy with it? Maybe not, but it's not a loss. Could I have done better? For sure. I could have entered earlier, maybe at this fair value gap, and I would have caught an insane amount, like 60 points damn near. Well, yeah, 60 points actually. And I would have had a lot better of an execution. But I didn't think that the entry at this point in time was good enough for me. I didn't think it had enough conviction. I didn't think it had enough displacement to show me what I wanted to see. But once I saw this big fair value gap, I was like, okay, I'm going to enter now. Especially because it was displacing above these previous highs. Again, winning day overall because I managed my position, but it wasn't the actual move that ended up happening. We continued bearish for a few hundred more points, and I think we're actually still going bearish. But yeah, break even today, $91. Let's see how the charts look tomorrow. Hopefully I have a lot more conviction in my trade. Hopefully I have a lot more confidence in my trading, and hopefully I get a better draw on liquidity.